In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys my current Panasonic 3DO collection. Alright guys, so in this video, I want to just show you my pretty small 3DO collection, what I have gotten so far. Been collecting the 3DO for not a whole long time, but long enough that I was able to get some items. Growing up, I had a 3DO, and so Jax was my favorite game on the 3DO, played it all the time as a kid, and so once I started seriously collecting, I definitely wanted to pick up Jax and pick up some other games for the 3DO. It's definitely my favorite platform to play that game on, and just kind of want to show you guys what my current collection looks like today. Nowhere near a full set. Some of my other libraries are a lot larger than this. But these are a little more difficult to find out in the wild, and so just kind of want to show you guys what I have. I'm going to go ahead and start with the hardware. First up, we've got the Gen 1 Panasonic 3DO. So this is the FZ1. This was the first unit released in the US. This is the front loader. I do have it boxed. It is complete. And then I also have, this one is not boxed, but I have the second gen model. And that's what this one is. It's dated October 1995. And this is the top loader one. So it just pops open there. If you're not familiar with the 3DO, it did come out in the early 90s. There is a VCD cart expansion module that you can put in this to play VCDs. It was relatively expensive. I believe it retailed for $700 at the time of release. And so a big reason it didn't do the greatest was the price tag. And so we'll go ahead and start going over the games. I do have a couple controllers, but that's about it. I do not have a light gun for it. There's a lot of accessories I do not have for it. I do not have the VCD cart and items like that. But we're going to go ahead and jump in and start going over the games. We're going to start off with the interactive sampler. This is volume 4. Currently the only interactive sampler I have is volume 4. Still looking for the other ones. And then here's the inside. If you haven't seen a 3DO disc, they're very similar to like a Sega CD disc. A lot of them came in a long box format, and so I've been making my own cases for them. Next up, Alone in the Dark 2. Followed by a game I have on multiple platforms, including Sega CD and Sega 32X CD, and that is Corpse Killer. This is a game I was really hoping to have a gun for, so I could play this. Still on the lookout for a gun. I had one, but it did not work. I ended up trading it off. Next up is Crash and Burn. And Crash and Burn, once again, I have the manual for. Even though they did long box, they did small manuals. And so for some of the games, I do have the manuals. Next up is Creature Shock. I picked this up recently, and this is actually a dual disc game. Similar to some of the other platforms, they did have multiple disc games. Next up is Dragon's Lair. Followed by FIFA International Soccer. And then we have Flying Nightmares. And then we have Foes of Ali boxing game. And then my favorite game on the platform is Jax. And unfortunately I do not have the manual for this, but I do have the not for resale copy of Jax. Alright, next up we have John Madden Football, followed by Pebble Beach Golf Links, Return Fire, Shockwave. I don't have Shockwave 2 yet, but I do have Shockwave. Oh, correction, I do have Shockwave 2. Forgot about this one. So this is Shockwave 2, and this is a 2-disc game, and it also has 2 manuals. There's an operations guide, and there's a briefing guide. So pretty unique there in that there is 2 different manuals. Next up is Star Wars Rebel Assault. And then we have Super Wing Commander. Theme Park. And then we have Twisted, the game show. Way of the Warrior. Who Shot Johnny Rock? Also had this on Sega CD. During this time period, there were a lot of cross-platform games. Some of these games are on the CDI, some are on the 3DO, some are on the Sega CD. And so during this time period, there was a lot of cross-platform going on. And last but not least, we have Wing Commander 3. And this one is pretty unique. Here I do have the play guide for it. And it is 4 discs. So this is the only 4-disc 3DO game I do have in my collection. But it's pretty unique that there's a 4-disc game for the system. And on the back of the case it does say, the first true interactive movie for your 3DO system. During this time period there was a lot of FMV, and this game definitely takes full advantage of that. So that's it for my 3DO collection. Drop me a comment below. Let me know if you collect for the 3DO. I'm interested to see how many people like the 3DO, still collect for the 3DO. The games aren't necessarily too expensive. There's a couple that are crazy expensive. But other than that, most of the games can be had for around $10 to $15. And so they're just a little bit harder to find. Especially if you're looking locally. I know the area where I live, it's very difficult to find these games. A lot of times I'll go online. Occasionally my local video game exchange will have them. But overall, definitely hard to find locally. But drop me a comment below. Let me know, if you collect for the system, what your favorite games are, what your favorite accessories are, if there's anything I should be keeping an eye out for. And thanks for watching.